Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Ellie Kempster.
Me, Liam Underwood, and some special guests.
We're joined this week by Kat and Amanda.
Hey!
Hello.
I realised that this could technically be considered a Valentine's Day special again. Because last time we had Kat on was a Valentine's Day special. And now when this goes up, it'll be just in time for Valentine's Day again. Because it'll go up
that's
a couple of days
true.
late. So, technically, happy Valentine's Day.
I'll just sign off now then if we're doing a Valentine's Day special.
No, it's okay. I think everyone has love in their lives, but in different ways. Yours is more
Sure.
abstract.
Yeah, I've got abstract love going on, yeah, good.
I'm pretty sure Ellie's family loves her. That's not
Sometimes.
That's
abstract.
true, Amanda. I do feel like that's a bit of a cop-out on Valentine's Day, though, to sort of be like, well, I'm loved by my family.
For years before I met my husband, I often just got a little box of chocolate from my grandma. So,
Oh, that's sweet.
That's. I'm not saying that's, I'm all fine with that. I would not say no if my family bought me chocolates for Valentine's Day, but I don't think I can walk around being like, I got a Valentine.
You should say that a bit louder so they can hear you.
They're not in.
Are they not? Oh, that's a shame.
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
Maybe make them listen to this episode before Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's a
hint,
plan.
hint.
Yeah. So, Amanda and Kat have both been on the episode, on the podcast before, but never together. So,
No.
this
History is happening.
Yeah, this is a
it's extreme.
monumentous occasion. And I'm feeling very outnumbered.
Are Kat and Amanda the guests that we've had on the most anyway?
Probably.
They are, right?
Kat's only been on one solo episode before.
Oh, you've done specials.
Yeah.
Yeah,
done
which
a
I don't
few
really
of those.
count.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
It's alright.
Sorry.
I think this makes
Kat made a
Amanda
face
now
at
our
Liam.
most frequent guest.
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this? I think it's my third time.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
So you were tying because we had Jason and Lee on twice.
Yeah, individually and then together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, now Amanda takes the lead. It's all exciting, really, isn't it?
Do I get a prize?
That's what we do here at Nerd on Nerd.
No. Well, the prize is you get to be on the podcast 3 times.
Yay!
Right, this is a long introduction. This episode, we're talking about Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Season 1 and the Christmas special. But
Yep.
before all that, you know what time it is.
Catching up with Ellie, Liam, Kat and Amanda.
Hey! Well done.
Thanks. Don't patronise me.
Well, you had like a moment of panic on your face then.
Well, it's because suddenly we've got guests on and suddenly you're changing up who says what on the show and I don't like it.
Well, normally I handle a lot of that stuff, but because we've got
Yeah.
guests on, I'm trying to make it a bit more interactive with you so people don't forget that you're here.
God, you're mean today.
No, you go a bit quiet when we have guests on sometimes, so I'm getting you more involved.
Cool. Thanks, Liam.
That's alright. This is our lovely lady special.
Sorry, lovely lady special.
Yeah.
Okay,
Are
we roll
you
with
just
that.
so intimidated that there's 3 women right now?
I think that's what's happening. He's definitely a bit shyer than usual.
I
think
am.
he's
That's why I
scared.
keep going to Ellie to do stuff, because I'm like, oh no, I'm going to get it wrong and the women will judge me.
We're judging you anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Catch me up.
Who are you asking?
Let's start with Amanda.
Well, let's see. I was sick for a long time, so I've been home a lot. But yesterday, I went out. My best friend Jessica graduated from nursing school on Friday. And
Well done.
so we had a ladies' brunch for her yesterday, and we all dressed as nurses.
Of course.
And most people had very appropriate, just like scrubs on. My friend Marianne dressed as one of the doctors from Doctor Who.
That makes sense.
Yeah, my friend Colleen had like a, I don't know, like 1950s style nurse's outfit. And then I, of course, had a sexy nurse costume from Halloween 10 years ago.
So yeah, that maybe stood out then.
Yeah, I had to, like, I put, like, a sweater and stuff on, and, like, I was trying to, like, tame it down. I mean, like...
Were you expecting other people to have gone down that road as well then?
I thought maybe one other person would have that sort of costume. No, just me.
Just you.
Just me. But I didn't, like, there's, like, a choker that's, like, part of it that you, like, clasp together. I didn't put that, like, I didn't clasp that for brunch.
I mean, to be honest, if someone said to me, you need a nurse outfit, the first place I'd go to would probably be somewhere like Ann Summers, which is like a UK lingerie type shop. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's the sound of, like, disgust from both Ellie and Kat there.
But any
weird...
excuse to bring up Ann Summers.
Yeah.
It's probably the first time I've mentioned Ann Summers on the podcast.
Yeah, on the podcast. You see, Amanda, Ann Summers isn't just a lingerie shop. It has a section at the back, which I'll leave to your imagination what that involves.
Yes. I can understand how maybe you've heard of it before in conversation with Liam.
Yeah.
I wish they sponsored us, to be honest.
Mention them a few more times on the podcast and they might.
They've got a Twitter presence. We could tag them in it.
Stop turning Amanda's catching up with into a trying to get advertisers.
Sorry, Amanda.
It's alright. At least it wasn't Fleshlight.
Yet.
So, yeah, we had brunch, and that was fun, and then we went back to my friend Laura's house and had mimosas and chatted, and then we played, I don't know, it's a phone game. It's called, like, Heads Up.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we know what that is, yeah.
Yeah, so kind of like, I don't know, charades almost. I don't know. Like, you're trying to get the person, like, for listeners, if you're not familiar, you hold the phone up on your forehead, and it has, like, a name or a word, and you have to, the other people are trying to get you to guess what you're holding up. So we played that.
There's a really good skit in the US office where they're doing that.
Oh, yeah. For Diversity Day.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes. Well, there's one category. We killed it at Harry Potter, but, you know, once we did that round, we kept trying to change categories. And there was one that was accents or voices. And so it was, you know, like going through and doing, like, different voices. And we were all like, oh, no, this will be horribly offensive and awful. And, like, luckily they just did, like, accents mostly of, like, white people, so that, like, we didn't
That's fine then.
ever have to, like, be horribly offensive. But it was really funny. At one point I was guessing, and apparently it was Scottish, and my friend just went, "Ach!" Like, that was the only thing she said. And then one of my other friends was up guessing, and Bill Cosby popped up, and all of us that were giving hints just went, "Oh." And she went, "I'm just gonna skip whatever this is," and just skipped it. And then it, like, tells you at the end which ones you skipped, and she was like, "Oh, okay, I understand why you skipped Bill Cosby." I mean, we were all like, we just froze, like, can we do that anymore? Is that appropriate? Is it not? So, yeah, that was fun. And then I had a double date last night with my husband and my friend Kate and her fiance.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, we went and saw the Oscar-nominated animated shorts, which I will talk about later.
Ooh. Looking forward to that. It's funny you should mention Heads Up, because Kat played a very similar game. Not quite the Heads Up version, but just like you stick it on a post-it note. But she did that at
it's
work
basically
the other
the
day.
Office version. Apparently, it's called Forehead Detective, which, like, makes sense, but it's also a really dumb name.
Yeah,
I've never heard anyone call it
I
that.
know. Well, we were looking it up after I told Liam we were playing it at work, and it came up on Google as Forehead Detective.
I've never heard it referred to that yet.
No.
I've heard
That's
it called,
weird.
like, Celebrity or 20 questions or something. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
you ask, yeah.
I don't know if I've ever heard anyone give it a name. I think it just seems to happen. You're at a party and then someone's like, I'm going to write names on a thing, and you're like, oh, we're doing that game.
Yeah. I just called it the Post-it note game, and Liam knew exactly what I meant straight away. Yeah. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. Who were you when you played it, Kat?
Theresa May.
Yeah.
Which I guessed. I think I guessed right first because there was like a room of like 11 or 12 of us playing it, and we were just going around, and each person had a turn to ask the question. And I think I got mine in like 2 or 3 questions, but only because someone like really gave the game away by basically being like, I think I asked a question like, is this person popular? And they responded something along the lines of, for the wrong reasons, and I just assumed that it was a politician, and then
fair.
It was between Trump or Theresa May, so
yeah.
Yeah. Working hard, weren't you?
It was like meant to be this team building thing. We played that for like 2 hours and then went bowling and went for Thai food. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with my work taking me bowling.
And for Thai food.
But yeah.
Yeah. Who wants to go next?
Wow, this is so smooth. That's so profesh.
It's amazing because usually, like, the person throwing it off would be me, but I'm watching Liam and I'm like, I know Liam's meant to say something here. Liam knows he's the one that should be saying something here, but I'm watching him freeze up, and I've never had this before, and it's kind of beautiful, and I love it.
It's all these intimidating women. That's what it is.
It just
sure.
confuses me that you're so frozen up because you and Ellie are co-hosts. Kat is your girlfriend of 9 years. And you and I co-host a podcast together, so it's not like you don't know any of us.
Yeah, why are you so afraid?
So I should essentially be like the glue, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you're not the glue at all. You are the anti-glue, whatever that is.
Water?
Yeah, no, it's not water, but let's not get distracted by what anti-glue is.
Okay.
It's something bouncy, right? Like a bouncy trampoline.
What?
Yes, Liam, the opposite of glue is trampoline.
Trampoline. Oh my god.
Right, okay, I'm going to get my head in the game now, and I'm going to start hosting. It's because I'm trying to give Ellie an opportunity to host this, but she clearly doesn't want to, so...
No, I'm fine, I'll host.
No,
Kat,
here we go.
Kat, what have you been up to? You got anything for catching up with?
I think Ellie should host, to be honest, because this is just going terribly wrong. But anyway, what have I been up to? So, the team building thing, which I think is weird because I'm a contractor and I'm only there for like another month and a half, and yet they're inviting us on team building stuff, which I don't mind.
That is slightly weird.
Yeah, but I got the Friday afternoon off, so I'm not complaining. But,
yeah, no.
Yeah,
you got paid for it, didn't you?
Huh?
You got paid for the Friday afternoon.
Yeah, I logged my usual Friday hours, so... But, we went bowling, and I'm shit at bowling, and, we had the Thai as well, that was good. What else have I been up to, Liam? I can't remember. Bearing in mind that I was also ill the other week, and literally just binge-watched Netflix stuff, which I will talk about later.
Yeah, well, there's one thing that 3 of us all did.
Or I was going to leave that to you.
I was going to leave it to Ellie.
All right.
Well, have you got other stuff, Ellie, that you've been up to?
No.
So I'll let Ellie take the Super Bowl one then.
Wow. Oh, I did go shopping yesterday. That's worth a mention.
Is it?
No.
Did you get anything good?
I bought some clothes and I ate some cake. It was a pretty good day. I was away from Liam, so it was blissful.
That's mean.
No, that's understandable.
You know what? That reminds me, right? So, Amanda might find this interesting because I've already told Kat and Ellie, and they both reacted with confusion and disbelief. But my personal trainer told me the other day that it's okay for me to eat cake. I mean, just look at Ellie's face right now.
No, it's not even just that she said it's okay to eat cake. Liam showed her a picture of a whole celebration cake that he'd gotten. Did you just buy it for yourself?
Is this the picture
and then
had on Twitter where you ate a quarter of it?
Yeah.
Yes. And then his personal trainer said that's fine. Yeah. So I've said he should fire his personal trainer.
I agree. No, I mean, he does need to gain weight, but that's not the way to do it if you want to get muscle.
Said if cake is the way to gain the calories that I need, then let there be cake.
She said it just like Marie Antoinette.
Yeah, exactly the same.
She's very hip, my personal trainer.
My theory is that your personal trainer is actually a witch who lives in the woods, and she's going to fatten you up, and then you're going to get eaten in an oven, and that's what's going to happen here, Liam.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Did you tell her that you've thrown up after your personal trainings yet?
Yeah. Well, we started the last session when she was like, how did last week go for you? I was like, well, I was sick at the end of it, wasn't I? And she was like, yeah, you didn't look good. And I was like, no. So she's aware.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hide things from her, but equally, because I said to her, she said to me, how's the eating going this week? And my exact response was, not great. I brought a cake for 10 people to celebrate. And she said, what are you celebrating? And I said, the fact that I have cake. And then I said, that's probably not good, is it? And she was like, well, you are trying to put on weight. So if that helps you get the calories that you need, then that's okay.
Okay.
But it's not just calories.
Yeah, but I counted the calories for that day.
No, but it's not just calories. Don't say yes.
Over.
I said it's not just calories, and your response was yes, but it was only a certain amount of calories. That's not what I said, Liam.
She did say as long as I still get protein in, which I do for my meals.
Oh, I just don't believe it.
The thing is, right, you're not a qualified personal trainer, so I'm going
I don't think she is.
Over you.
She doesn't sound like one.
She told you to eat a cake.
Yeah.
Well, a part of me is worried that she's like trying to trap me a bit. Not in the way that you're thinking of where she like fattens me up to eat me, but she did ask me to monitor like exactly what I'm eating this week using MyFitnessPal and put like all of it in calorie wise.
Oh, so do you think she did the whole like, oh no, it's totally fine to eat a cake, so that you'd be like, oh, I can write whatever and she's not going to complain, and then you turn up and she's like, no, this is fucking abysmal, and if you ever touch a cake again, I'll beat you.
Yeah, because I could easily see her saying that.
That would be kind of cool. She'd get all my respect back then.
Yeah, so we'll see how next week's go.
I hope she never listens to this, because I'd feel really bad that she's just like, no, I'm really trained, and Ellie doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Or she's like, oh no, they found out I am a witch.
It's fine. It's not like it's easy to find this podcast by just like searching my name.
Is it?
Yeah, probably is.
I don't know about that.
Probably possible.
Before we talk about the Super Bowl, I had a really exciting weekend a couple of weekends ago.
Yeah.
So we mentioned earlier, right? Did we do that on air? No, this was beforehand. Ignore that. Cut back to it. So I'm sort of having a semi-midlife crisis /
No, you're having a full-on midlife crisis.
Yeah, let's be real.
It's a terrible midlife crisis if that's what it is.
Yeah, but it's still a midlife crisis.
Yeah, it's full, but it's like boring.
Yeah.
Isn't it just... No, I think it might just be like nostalgia.
Yeah, a nostalgic midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Whatever. So and Kat started this, to be fair. So is it even my fault?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the fact that it's carried on is your fault.
All right. So for Christmas, Kat got me 2 Goosebumps box sets. So it had 5 books in each one. That's 10 Goosebump books. That's great. Kat forgot the small tiny fact that if you give me a list, I'm gonna work my way through it.
Yeah.
These 10 books weren't necessarily the first 10 on the list. There was number 1 and number 2, but then it goes a bit off the rails, right? So I spent... How long do you reckon it was, Kat? Like 2 weeks?
Probably.
Searching eBay and like Facebook Marketplace and...
It was 2 weeks in the work chat that you were...
Yeah.
It felt like longer because you were really beginning to piss me off with the making me check eBay and stuff.
So what happened, right, is I found this auction on eBay. It was collection only. It was all 62 of the original run, and 61 of them were the UK covers, which were the covers that I used to have. So it was like nostalgia overload for me. The problem was this seller wasn't hugely responsive to messages, because I sent them a first message being like, oh, are there any names inside the covers of the books? That's important. And it took him like a good couple of days to come back and be like, there's, I think 9 had names inside the covers. And then I was like, okay, so if I win this auction, it finished at midday on a Saturday. I was like, is it all right for me to come and pick it up on the Sunday? No response. So I was like, well, this is no good. So I got Kat to message him because I thought maybe that would help.
I know, this is what I don't get, is like, me messaging them as well shouldn't make any difference.
They eventually responded, right, on Saturday morning, about half an hour before the auction ended. Now, here's where the story... Here's where Liam makes the story a Liam story, basically. That morning, frustrated that they hadn't responded, I bought another Goosebumps book auction on eBay, which was missing 3 of the books and also wasn't particularly descriptive. I did send them a message saying how many of these have names in the covers, and they were like, I can't be bothered to check. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm risking it. So I bought that, and then the person came back and was like, oh yeah, we are around tomorrow. So I was like, oh no, what do I do? So I bought that as well. So I've now got like about 115 Goosebump books in the house.
Yes, you have.
But here's the beauty of it, right? Here's the beauty of it. The 9 that had names in the covers, I managed to swap out with this other book lot that arrived. So I've now got a nearly pristine, like, 62 collection of Goosebump books without any writing inside the covers. Like, one has like a damaged cover, so I might replace that one. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with my Goosebumps collection. What?
Why? Why do you need them to be pristine and not have names in the covers? Why?
Because he's Liam.
But that's not our answer, Kat. We give him too much leeway by letting him get away with this bullshit by being like, I'm Liam. That's not an answer. I know he's got his list problem, but he keeps adding things to this. He's giving himself these, like, needs. He used to be okay. He used to just have to do lists. Now he has to do pristine first editions of everything.
I feel like
it's all getting insane.
There's a deep psychological problem there, and I'm just not sure what it is, so I just live with it.
So what made you decide you needed to have these, like, original ones from the 90s instead of just, like, the new ones that Kat was buying you?
Okay, here we go then.
Here we go.
So Kat bought me the 10, just 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's 62.
Well, no, I understand that, but, like, you went... Because... I used to work, like, at a bookstore, and I know that they have been, like, reissuing the Goosebumps.
Yeah, so they have, but they've only reissued something like 28 of them. They haven't reissued the entire
And a lot of them are
collection.
in these, like, anniversary tins, like the things that I got him.
Yeah,
where they are
10 of them
literally,
in
like,
those
5
tins.
random ones that aren't... Like, they're not 1 to 5, they're just...
So the ones in the tins have the original, like, American covers, which are really cool. Mm-hmm. The reissues have these new garish covers that I don't approve of.
Okay, so that's why you wanted to get the British versions from your childhood.
Yeah. And it's that really does tap into the nostalgia of it. Because if I'd just got the new ones, I'd be like, well, I'm not nostalgic for this cover.
Yeah. But to be fair, it is all my fault, because the tins weren't the first ones that I bought you, were they?
No, you bought me some others from a charity shop or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like this random shop where in the town where my parents live that just had, like, all sorts of shit in it. And then for some reason they had, like, 2 or 3, I think it was, or was it slightly more? 3 Goosebumps books, and I bought them all for you, and I
I kept them on my shelf because number 1 wasn't there, and, you know, you've got to start at number 1, obviously.
Because my intention when I bought them was I was so stupid. I thought, he'll just read them in any order just for fun, because that's how a normal brain works. Yeah. What I didn't realise, stupidly, is that he'd be just as completionist with books as he is with films. And now he has to read every single one from the beginning.
So the best part about this story, right, is both me and Kat, the weekend that I won this auction, were very ill.
Yes.
I was in the throes of a cold. Kat was, I think, just starting to succumb to it. You were doing better than I was that day.
On that day I was, but then I went downhill again several days later.
And we had to do a 3-hour round trip to go and pick up these books.
Ooh.
Yep.
Now, was it cheaper to go and drive and spend the gas to get them than it was to pay for the shipping?
They refused to do shipping.
There are a lot of them. It would have been expensive for them to ship them.
Yeah, sometimes people do that.
It probably would have cost more than the, what, 51?
£51 I paid for the 62 Goosebumps books.
Yeah, it would have cost like almost double that just to ship it.
Yeah,
Oh
I mean,
God.
the other auction was like £70 buy it now, but we just overlook that and we focus on the £51.
And now you need to buy up the books that you are missing from that second collection to then sell those on.
So I could sell a whole collection,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah,
have a
but
better
no.
chance of selling a whole collection.
But you've been swapping ones that have got names in the covers.
Oh,
so if
yeah,
anything, Liam,
yeah.
if anyone's if the only people buying the full 62 books from Goosebumps are people that want as broken as you. So you're not going to be able to sell those ones because they'll be like, are there names in the covers? And you'll be like, yeah.
Yeah,
And they'll be like, I don't want
names in these covers.
Yeah. So you're now just going to be stuck with
That's a good point.
a bunch of Goosebumps books.
If he's not put them on eBay within like a certain amount of time, I'm just going to get rid of it. I'm just going to
I
take
will
them
put
to the
them on
dump.
eBay. I'm thinking just put them on eBay, just like as an auction, start at £10 and see what happens.
Bearing in mind, are you going to ship it? I mean, this is a really boring thing to talk about, like, on the podcast.
Yeah, we don't have to get into the details of my eBay auction. The main point of the story was me getting all the Goosebumps books, and that was brilliant. And then, right, just to add to nostalgia, so as a little kid, I loved Goosebumps. I got way into it. But then it took me all of about 6 months to read pretty much all of the Goosebumps books that had come out and be like, oh, I'm a bit too old for these now. So...
Sorry, 6 months?
Honestly, it was about that.
It took you 6 months to grow up and go, I don't need Goosebumps. I'm too old for Goosebumps. After
And how old
literally
were you
6
then?
months.
11. This was still in junior school. How old are you in like year 4, 5? Year 5?
I don't know.
Wait, year
No.
5? You're not 11 in year 5, you're like 9.
Oh, okay, I was
Yeah.
9.
You were too old for Goosebumps by 9.5.
No, they were all of age at my school.
Yeah, but you just said... No,
You said
but
within
you
6
just
months.
said after 6 months you had read them all and realised you were too old for Goosebumps. So
Yeah.
don't complain at us for calling you out on you saying something weird.
No, it's fine. Because then, right, so I remember my school library had some point horrors. So that's when I got into point horror, which is like the next
Okay.
step up from Goosebumps. So Goosebumps is like the average reading age, apparently, what they're recommended for, is 9 to 12 years old. I think you could probably go a bit lower than that, in all honesty. But that's what the recommendation is.
I would have said 8 for Goosebumps because they're
Yeah.
large print and the chapters are like a page long.
Yeah. And then point horror is meant for teenagers. But I reckon like probably up till like 15, 16 tops.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So
Sure.
I also bought a bunch of point horrors on eBay, and I'm alternating now. I'm reading a Goosebumps and a point horror. I've read 2 Goosebumps, 1 point horror so far. I'm loving it. It's the worst midlife crisis ever, but I'm having a good time.
So,
Can I just... sorry. Go on,
at
Amanda.
9, you decided you were too old for
Yeah.
Goosebumps. But at
You
31...
had quite a high like reading age, I think, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I was reading like The Hobbit and shit.
yeah.
The Hobbit's not that impressive.
Discworld.
I was reading the Silmarillion, Liam. Get out of here with your Hobbit.
It's not a contest, Ellie.
Yes, it is, and I won.
Well done.
But I just like that at 9, you were like, I'm too old for this. But at 31, you're like, I'm going to read them all.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I love it.
The thing is, so I've read 2 now, and the first one was a lot of fun, and the second one I was like, oh, I'm beginning to see the cracks. I've got 60 to go.
Yeah, you're committed now. You have
Yeah,
to read
because-
all of them.
So we're doing YouTube exclusive episodes where I'm going to review all 62 of the original run, and potentially we're going to try and figure out a way to play the Give Yourself Goosebumps books,
Yeah.
which is going to be fun. And I'm also reviewing the Point Horror ones as well. The thing with Point Horror, right, I got really lucky with finding this eBay auction. I thought there'd be like loads. I thought I wouldn't have a struggle finding Point Horror, and it's just been a nightmare ever since. So,
Yeah, it has. Mostly for me.
yeah.
Can
Are
I,
you
can I,
having to
Liam,
message-
just point out before we move on from this topic, I would like to point out the hypocrisy of what you're doing, which is that I don't know if everyone remembers before I was recommended Fluke and American Psycho, but I was on a little bit of a run reading fantasy books and for a while sci-fi books. I'd alternated between the two. And I stopped doing them because a certain member of this podcast complained that doing one type of book was really boring and that he didn't want to hear it anymore. So I'm just waiting till we get 10 books into Goosebumps and Point Horror before I refused to edit the special episodes and just go, no, you said it was boring after that many, so now you have to stop. No. Here's American Psycho to read.
The thing about that, right, is I'm not doing it on the main show. It's a little bonus. And also, what if they go really well and everyone loves them?
Have your own podcast just for reviewing Goosebumps.
One of my book reviews got loads of views, and it really annoys you, Liam. So are you saying that we should go back and I should do fantasy again?
I'm not stopping you now. You had your little break.
Cool.
You took a year off of reading. That gave me some respite. Now you can go and do a couple more.
A couple, fuck you. Let's move on before I get angry.
Super Bowl!
Yeah. I went down to visit Kat and Liam to watch the Super Bowl, as is tradition. It was boring.
Highlights from that weekend. We solved Kat's mystery box.
Yep,
we finally solved the mystery box. I was disappointed.
Yeah.
It wasn't... I thought it was going to be like this huge thing where you like solve one part and then that reveals another part of the mystery.
I mean, the actual solving of what we did solve was hard enough, so I was kind of glad.
It was.
For any listeners that are maybe just jumping at this point, do you want to explain what a mystery box is?
So, a mystery box was... Liam got it for Kat as a gift for her birthday.
Yeah. She was not a fan.
No, Kat does not like mystery boxes or puzzle solving, so she was immediately annoyed.
Yep.
It's basically this wooden crate that was, I don't know, sort of slightly bigger than a toaster turned up with...
It's like a shoebox size.
Shoebox, yeah, but like a solid wood nailed together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first job was just getting into the box.
Oh my...
Yeah,
no, let's take a step back for a second. Let's talk about the fact that I thought someone had sent me anthrax because I had no idea what it was, and it came with a really fucking creepy letter inside the main box that it came in handwriting that I couldn't read.
Yeah, it is creepy.
It was creepy.
Best present ever.
It was such a bad idea to get it for Kat.
I just remember going into my office thinking it was a parcel that I'd ordered for Liam as a Christmas present, and he just called, "Is everything okay?" And I was like, "No, it's not." So yeah, that was creepy.
I had to tell Kat, because you're meant to do it where you order it for someone else and you don't tell them you've done it. I had to tell Kat very quickly because she was getting in a bit of a flap, weren't you?
Well, to be fair, it wouldn't have been anyone else, but because I didn't know anything about mystery boxes or that they even existed, I genuinely thought I didn't really know what to think. Present. No.
Yeah.
I did not think what a considerate present.
No, understandably.
If Kat doesn't like puzzles, why did you get her a mystery box?
Yeah, Liam.
Okay, so the thing is, right, it's described as a horror experience. It's not really sold on the website as a particularly deep puzzle. It says there's puzzle elements, but
yeah,
it's
I think
mostly
we were all
described as a horror
surprised at
experience.
how it doesn't actually point you in any sort of direction as to what you're supposed to do with it.
Yeah.
It's just here's a bunch of stuff, figure it out yourself. Yeah. Which I think if you'd have known it was going to be that vague, then you would have known that I wouldn't have liked it.
To be honest, Kat, I think he knew you weren't going to like it anyway, because so basically, Amanda, they send that box, and then was it a week later, 2 weeks later, they send they call it the reveal, so it's a little letter that Liam's written saying oh, I sent you it, haha, what a fun old game. Except Liam put in his, sorry, I thought you would enjoy it. So he clearly knew she wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true. I'd forgotten about that.
The thing is, I'm relentlessly optimistic, so I hoped that...
No, you aren't, though, because you wouldn't have sent that letter.
Well, I enjoyed elements of it, and I liked the idea of it, sitting down and trying to solve it.
So you get this, handwritten diary that must have taken so long to produce. Yeah. And then it's all about this kid who is now missing, and the diary keeps, getting intersected with these, extracts from a witch. And it seems like the witch is possessing the kid.
Yeah.
Just to point out, Liam, you probably shouldn't be solving this on the podcast.
No, I'm not going to say how we solved it. That's as much as I'm going to say.
Yeah, but I feel like you're giving too many, considering the clues you had to go on from the box.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
I think you're giving too many clues, so I'm going to edit that out.
All right, well, you describe it then.
Just don't be a sulky little bitch.
No, that's fair. Saying that, I'm not going to repeat it because then you have to keep editing out. But yeah.
So basically, there's you get this box. There's a puzzle to solve in it, And it's like Kat said, it's not obvious at all what you're meant to do. So Liam and Kat had been trying to solve it on and off for 2 weeks.
I'll be honest,
a bit
no,
longer?
we spent like 2 nights having a look at it, and then Kat just gave up, and I was like, well, I'm not doing it with that, Kat.
No,
yeah, and then
we
I
both
came down.
Gave up actually, and I wanted to go back to it, but we didn't know where to start, which is why we were like, Ellie, come and help.
Yeah, so I came down recently where I looked at it and was like, this is too complicated.
That's when we did the Paranormal Activity Day.
Yeah, that's right. And we didn't solve it then. And then so as part of the like Super Bowl weekend, which ended up just being a day, I was like, oh yeah, or Liam was like, yeah, we can try the mystery box again. So we all sat down and we solved it.
Yeah.
And I was disappointed because I thought it was going to be way more complex, and I was looking forward to like a crazy mystery.
No, I was just relieved that it was solved.
That's fair. That's understandable, because I didn't have to stare at it every day being like, this has defeated me. So I could just leave and be like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a lot of snow as well.
Oh yeah, we haven't mentioned the snow. And how we weren't sure that Ellie would actually be able to come for Super Bowl because it was snowy.
There was no snow it snowed a little bit by me. And then I got to yours.
You forget we couldn't get our cars out.
No, I can see why. It was ridiculous.
The best thing about the snow, for me, was inspired by all the Goosebumps and Point Horror stuff. I did a little fun Twitter picture where I made it look like someone had like walked up to our back door, and then I tweeted being like, oh, woke up and checked the back garden. This is weird. And so many people were like, oh, you need to move house. It was brilliant. And I was like, spooked you all. It was just me.
Did you ever put it on Twitter saying that was me?
No.
Fair enough.
It was obvious, like, because there were footsteps leading up to the door, but none going away.
No, that's not what makes it obvious. That's what made people worried.
Yeah,
people weren't worried that there were just footprints in the back garden. They were worried that the footprints didn't go away, because that's the, like... Because I said to you, there's definitely urban legends that I heard as a kid about, you know, where the whole point is they're talking about footprints in the snow, and then suddenly someone's like, but wait, there are no footprints leading away. And then you're like, oh, God.
Yeah. Cats live in an urban legend at the moment.
What?
Your dog that's a human in a dog costume.
Oh, yeah.
What?
This is getting so...
Yeah, this is very off topic.
Yeah, but Amanda wants to know now.
Liam thinks that my family's dog, Dexter, looks like a human in a dog suit because he's really long and lanky.
And he's got creepy human eyes.
And he apparently has creepy human eyes.
Some of those photos are genuinely, you look at his face and you are like, that is a man looking at me.
Yeah, if Kat is happy for me to do this, when this episode goes up, maybe, Ellie, if your sister can remind me again, I'll tweet the pictures.
And that is fine with me, as long as Ellie's sister remembers to remind you.
Okay.
Perfect. Anyway, let's get back on track, because we did a little diversion there, sorry.
It's
Super
quite a
Bowl.
big one.
So we solved the mystery box, and then we watched the Super Bowl.
No, we played Kat's anniversary game that I got her.
Oh, yeah, we played What Do You Mean for a bit, and we played Geek
What Do
Out.
You Mean? Yeah.
Yeah, we played Geek Out, that was fun.
That was
Yeah, we don't need to go for everything, though,
No.
Liam. I was just trying to sort of move along the key points.
Yeah.
Which was the Super Bowl, which we watched. Liam, first year ever that Liam has supported the same team as me and Kat.
Yeah.
And let me explain why. I was just bored of everyone being pissy at me because I was on the team that kept winning.
No, let's be honest, you were bored of the Patriots winning every year.
Well, there's that, and
We all
also...
are.
So, for anyone that listens, if you didn't watch the Super Bowl, don't blame you. You missed nothing this
was
year.
so
It was
boring.
not a good game.
Yeah, it was.
And this halftime show wasn't particularly good either.
It was shocking.
No, it
So,
was creepy.
to entertain ourselves, we started a little rumour on Twitter
Oh, God.
We did.
that Tom Brady is a piece of bacon who has infiltrated the NFL, and it's just a matter of time before people figure it out.
I think we must have been tweeting for about 2/3 of the game, maybe?
Yeah.
Just
thing is
non-stop.
I was-
Hashtagging the BBC team in, trying to get someone to say, why do people keep saying Tom Brady is bacon?
Yeah.
I was
That's
sat in
brilliant.
the same room as you both, and I had no idea how this started. Like, who started it?
Liam did the first one.
But
I
why?
still
Where
can't
did
remember
it
again.
come
He came
from?
on screen and I was like, look at that streaky piece of bacon.
That's right, yeah.
But why a bacon? That's what the world wants to
No.
know.
So the reason it happened, like, that was the start, but the reason Liam said that was I was questioning his allegiance because he hadn't thrown hate at the Patriots yet. So I was like, well, Liam, if you're not supporting them, you have to be very mean to them. So Liam just said, look at him, he's like a big piece of streaky bacon, which is not an insult.
It's not,
compliment, is it?
Yeah, exactly. It's not a compliment.
No, true.
And then, there were definitely some that were insulting, where we were like, some people started getting involved in being like, oh, he's also a cheater. So I was like, yeah, he's a cheating piece of bacon. And then the next day, Kat found a tweet.
Yeah.
Someone had tweeted and been like, I learnt 2 things during the Super Bowl. I can't remember what the other thing was, but he said that Tom Brady is a piece of bacon and something else. And I was like, oh my God, he must have read all of those tweets. Because you were like hashtagging the Super Bowl like every time, and you were, like Ellie said, you were like tagging people and everything.
Yeah. So if Tom Brady's in the Super Bowl next year,
it's coming back.
I'm spending that entire game just trying to get other people on board with this idea that he's a piece of bacon.
Should we
All I want
bacon to our like choice of snacks for the Super Bowl next year?
We should, yes.
Okay, that's fine.
All I want is the people that are the like BBC team that cover the Super Bowl, Mark, Jason, OC, and that other guy
the one
who no one likes.
Mike, I think his name is.
Is he another Mark?
No, it's Mike.
But or Mike. Sorry, Mike. I just want one of them during the Super Bowl to not even read out a tweet, just to say, why are people saying Tom Brady is a piece of bacon? That's all I want. I don't care. I just want one of them to acknowledge that we were tweeting a lot about how Tom Brady is bacon.
So there's like a BBC team that covers the Super Bowl?
Yeah, they do it every year. It's the same.
They're really good though, because they seem to have a lot of fun with it. I feel like I think they started when it wasn't so big over here, and they were doing all the coverage, and like they were sort of allowed to just mess about and have a bit of fun. And now that it's gotten bigger and people like them, they just get to cover the Super Bowl
it's not
in
like
America.
normal commentary over in this country, which is
a lot of it is
dull.
also like them kind of being like, oh, so can you explain like that rule or that play? Like they're very aware that as a British audience, we're probably not like too hot on the rules and stuff.
Okay.
Although I think this year they pointed out one of them was explaining something, and then he was like, if any British people are watching the Super Bowl at this time, they probably already know that rule. And I was like, I think they're like, people are starting to learn.
So the team, it's like it's a British like just commentator guy, and then 2 ex-NFL players. So you got a defensive one and an offensive one. So they kind of give you that perspective, and then you got a British guy in the middle, like mediating and being like, "Isn't American football great?"
All right.
Well, they did say that it was a great game, and we were all just like, they weren't watching the same game.
I know, I lost interest. Like as soon as the game was over, I was like, why do they keep saying it's a great game? I'm going to bed now.
It was the worst Super Bowl we've done, and we've done about 4 now, I think.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
I think that's right.
So yeah.
I did not watch it, but I heard it was boring.
It really was.
Yeah. And Adam Levine, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy from
Maroon 5.
Maroon 5, that's it.
It was awful. So bad. Like the guy
he got his nipples out at one
but...
point, which I thought was disgraceful.
What's that?
He got his nipples out at one point.
At one point, most of the show.
I'm fully on board. I'm fully on board with that Twitter campaign of people being like, why is it alright for him to get his nipples out?
Yeah,
exactly.
everyone get your nipples out. On
I think that's super bullshit.
Because it was Janet Jackson, wasn't it? Who basically...
And she didn't even... Isn't it that she didn't even fucking do it?
Well,
like, there's something where it's like just a complete...
It was
it's
a
not
nip slip, wasn't it?
It was a wardrobe malfunction, because Justin Timberlake, I think, was meant to like pull off a part of her clothing.
It was supposed to have like a red thing underneath, like a red piece of cloth. And like... I don't know if he pulled too hard or something, but it pulled everything instead of just one part of the wardrobe.
Yeah.
But I heard something, I was watching something on YouTube earlier, I can't remember what it was, but someone was talking about how it was weird that Adam Levine turned it into this whole, like, him parading around the stage with no shirt on, when, in all fairness, the majority of the audience are probably not particularly interested in Adam Levine without his shirt on.
That's true.
The other thing, right, is he looks shirtless, right? He looks like a video game character where you can just add like pre-made tattoos to them, and the tattoos all look shit.
Yeah, no, that's very true. He does look exactly like that.
What's he got written across, like,
I
right at the
think
top
it
of his
said
stomach?
California.
Yeah,
Is it California? Like, I always find that a bit weird. Just a big word, and it's just a location.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't get Sutton or Carshalton tattooed on me.
I mean, it'd be really
Understandably.
weird if you did. I mean, California is significantly
Sutton.
nicer than Sutton and Carshalton.
Yeah, what about Surrey? I could put Surrey areas of interest or whatever it's called. We have those, like, viewpoints. Surrey areas of outstanding beauty.
Still not quite California.
I mean, what does compete with California?
Nowhere in this country, I would presume.
No.
Hawaii?
Lake District?
The Lake District.
We'll find out if we go there later this year.
Yeah, we will.
I like Amanda's suggestion of Hawaii.
Yeah. Hawaii
That's somewhere that's on my
But it's,
bucket
again,
list.
I feel like it's
Yeah.
just getting a place tattooed on you is weird.
Yeah.
It's like people that get, like, faces of other, like, celebrities or something. Because
I'm really worried that
rarely
Amanda's
look
going
like-
to turn round and go, well, actually, I've got...
Here, no. I do have tattoos, but none of them are faces or anything like that.
I don't know, the faces thing just seems a bit odd to me.
Yeah.
Like, I have words on my wrist, but it's not a place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does it say?
It says amicizia. It's friendship in Italian.
Oh, okay. Do you speak Italian?
No, I went to Italy in college.
Okay. Fair enough.
So that quite clearly has like a strong meaning, whereas I question Adam Levine having California across his stomach, whether that has any sort of deeper meaning than the fact he went there once.
Probably.
That would be my assumption.
Well, it's also, like, California is a huge state. It's, like, one of the biggest states here in the U.S.
Yeah.
It's not, like, his hometown. Like, I could almost see, like, if it was more micro of, like, where he grew up or something. But it's just, in general, California. My husband listens to conspiracy theory podcasts, and he was listening to one when we were going to bed the other night, and they were breaking down all of the tattoos on Adam Levine and, like, talking about how it had, like, bigger connotations, and there was something about mermaids, and I was just like, why is this anything that people are discussing? Like, I don't think there's any hidden meanings in Adam Levine's tattoos other than he just wanted some shit tattoos. Like, I don't think that he's, like, trying to send subliminal messaging to the world through his tattoos.
I do like the idea of him walking into a tattoo parlour and going, can you just give me some shit tattoos? And then going, sure.
Say no more.
California on the belly? Oh yeah, that works.
Does anyone else have any catching up with stuff?
Nope.